So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough.
Good show, Kim.
I know. I thought that was pretty
You
good.
think people got that it was April Fool's?
I think they probably did. I mean, the whole upside down thing.
That we went backwards the whole time?
Yeah.
People were
Surely.
like going crazy, like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it, you know?
Surely they got it when we started with the credits.
I think so. I think so.
Hey guys, great show!
Hey.
You liked it, Sid?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious how it all went backwards. That was hilarious.
You know what's so funny, Sam? That nobody realizes that you're under the table the entire time of our show. I think it's hilarious.
I know, it's a funny Brad Show Live behind the scenes secret.
Yes.
We need to make sure to call on you a little bit more because we always have you hanging out, but you're not doing anything for those 2 hours other than chewing on wires.
That's true. I talked to the Brad Squad.
Yeah, but also, he talks to the Brad Squad
That's
down here.
true.
Okay, he did a good job of answering the questions.
Yeah.
He did a very good job today of getting people to share.
That's true.
And then in the middle of the show, I was very thirsty. He handed me some water when nobody was looking.
Wow, he does that?
Yeah.
Groundhog Sam, you need to hand me some water when I get thirsty. You know I run out every once in a while.
Okay, just tap me on the head.
Okay.
By the way, where's Yonathan? He left already.
That guy keeps leaving, like, as soon as we're done.
We just say goodbye.
Yeah.
And then he's gone. Like I blink and he's out of here. How many times have I told him to stay so we can discuss what the show was and discuss tomorrow's show? And as soon as we say goodnight, he literally packs his stuff up and the guy runs out of here. It's crazy.
I think he's got a go bag at his feet, Brad. Like, he slams his computer down, throws all his equipment off, and grabs the go bag.
I don't know what's up with him. It's crazy.
One time I was in line with him in a roller coaster, just waiting for him. He said, I'll go back to the bathroom. I'll be right back. He never came back, Brad.
To the roller coaster or to the whole amusement park?
To the whole amusement park. Didn't
He
see him
just
for the rest of the day.
disappeared.
Didn't see him for the rest of the
Crazy.
day.
Hey guys, that was a great show.
It
Hilarious.
was hilarious. We went backwards the whole time.
I know, it was
Everybody
so
was
funny.
totally freaking
it was
out.
so funny.
Yeah.
Where's Yonathan?
I don't know.
Where'd he go?
I was just telling Kim, I go, the guy literally packs up, the credits aren't even done, he literally packs up and leaves, and then Kim told me about they were at the amusement park, and he left Kim in the middle of the amusement
Oh
park.
my God, he did that to me as well. We were out, we were having dinner. He said he was going to go to the bathroom and be right back, but then he left.
He keeps going, that's what he just said now, he
He's
said, I'm going
so
to the bathroom.
busy. He's so busy. He just like forgets and he leaves.
But it's the same excuse he uses all the time. I'm going to the bathroom, and then he never comes back, and we all buy it. But he doesn't, he just uses it as an excuse.
Hey guys, good show.
Thanks, Jenna.
Where'd Yonathan go?
We don't know. He's claimed he went to the bathroom, and then he disappears.
And this weekend I went to the amusement park with him, and he left me in the middle of the line waiting for the roller coaster.
Well, can I take a spot?
Well, I know you always wanted to get on camera more.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? We got to sit down, Yonathan.
Okay.
Okay, and tell him that you're like itching to get in his seat.
If we can find him, we'll
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not going to be today, obviously, because he's never going to come back.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell him you're itching to get into his seat. And one of the things that we're very concerned about him is that after the show, he always leaves and never stays for the post-production meeting.
Great show. No TriCaster issues.
Hey, Julian.
Nice.
It was a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah, when do we get to hear those little Air Force pews again? Everybody loves them.
When the time's right.
When the time is
When the time's
right?
Yeah.
All right.
Always playing hard to get. Any
Yeah.
big plans for tonight, Jay Pinto?
Not just relax, with some
Nice.
company, obviously.
Weren't you supposed to go out with Yonathan for dinner?
Yeah, but, some restaurants have policies you can't bring certain things in, so.
The restaurant won't let you in with the head of Groundhog Sam?
No, it's really bougie, so.
The head or the restaurant?
Both. Yeah.
Well, great show, guys. Have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you all tomorrow. One second, guys. Everybody in for our usual, go Brad show. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough. I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing? All right, everybody. So that's the end of the show. Belgium Kim, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, comments of the day.
Okay, we've got our first one from Chanel Nas, who said, "What the hell is going on here?" Great question, Chanel Nas. Keep watching. Keep watching. And maybe one day we'll answer
That's
that.
Right.
Maybe.
Jonathan, another comment of the day.
Another comment of the day.
Is
Carol Anderson the Tiger. Are you guys trying to fool some of us this evening?
All right. Very good. Excellent. 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 All right.
We've got another one.
We have another comment of the
Yeah,
day.
we do.
Yes.
From Abigail Taylor Watson, who said, "Hey Jenny, Groundhog Sam, Belgium Kim, and Professor Brad."
Right! Excellent. Excellent. I love those comments.
Who doesn't?
Yes.
Love those comments. Any other ones?
We do
Jonathan?
have one more
Yes.
from Tamika Nelson saying, "Not falling for it, Brad and Kim."
Right! Excellent. I love those comments. I love those comments. So anyway, under the Trump administration, in another segment of Abadier sues the government, under the Trump administration, individuals who are in the process of applying for asylum are finding that their cases are being delayed for years. Now, Spar Bernstein immigration attorney Abadir Barre joined me to discuss how we're working here at Spar and Bernstein to help our viewers who have their asylum hearings pending for more than 3 years in another edition of Abadier Sues the Government. unmute. So, we're not going to do Abadir sues the government. Oh, we are. Here we go again. All right. So,
People still don't know what's going on.
no, they don't
Brad.
know what's going on. And
Why don't you guess?
by the way, when Abadir sues the government, you know, just as a post-mortem to what he was talking about, you know, he was talking about mandamus actions and APA claims when you know things just don't go right, such as right now.
Right.
Okay, sometimes things just don't go right.
Right.
And he also was talking about when you sue the government when you have an asylum case pending, and your asylum case is pending for more than 1 year, you're going to want to sue the government. Why? Because your case is going to take forever, maybe
Right.
5 years, 10 years, 12 years. And that's not an April Fool's joke. That is a
Yeah.
serious thing. So, you know, when that's the case, if we can't get to Abadier, you know, because we just heard him,
Yeah.
all right, even though we didn't really hear him.
But we heard him.
But we heard him. Okay, if not, maybe we should just go to social media check-in. What do you think, Jilly? Yes, all right, so let's do something what we like to call social media check-in.
All right, our first questions today are coming in hot. Our first question is from Mike, who said, "Hello, sir. Our petition was already approved by USCIS this month, but there's a problem with my status. I thought I was single because they requested my marriage certificate a year ago in 1999, but there's no record of that marriage. But when I inquired last month, they already had a record of that marriage. Do we still have a hope to travel to go to the U.S. to now be with my fiance?"
Wait, I don't understand. There's a record of the marriage, but there's no record of the marriage? What does he want?
So what it seems like he's saying is that he was still married and did not realize he was still married when he was applying for his visa to come see his fiance in the U.S.
Okay, so then he said he was single.
So he
when
said
he was
he was
married.
single, and
why did he not realize he was married? You don't realize you're married?
Well, it seemed like it doesn't say why.
So
he thought,
so it's called a misrepresentation. If you go, sounds like he made a misrepresentation. So when you go into the U.S. Embassy and you say you're single when you're married or married when you're single, and you're misrepresenting what the facts are, they're going to say you lied, and now you're going to need a waiver. So what is he trying to do now? He wants to visit?
So now he said that his interview at the U.S. Embassy is coming up, so he's wondering, do we go? What do we do? And
His interview for what?
It just says that our petition was approved by USCIS, and he's trying to come to America to be with his fiancée.
Okay, so he has lied in the past. He should go in, tell the truth, and be prepared to file a waiver, and he should have a good lawyer representing him for that waiver.
All right, our next one comes from Love Freeman saying, "Do you pay if you're filing for VAWA after filing for the I-751 and your husband wants a divorce?"
You do not pay for the VAWA, but you do pay for the I-751.
We've got a question coming in from, Beth, who said, the 12 to 24 month wait for a decision for an affidavit of support for of the adjustment of status interview. Is that true? I know that the Houston office is so backed up, it's sickening. We had an adjustment of status for my husband in February of 2018, and we're still waiting for a decision. He entered legally with a visitor's visa, but was out of status for 3 years when we filed. I've got a Texas senator looking into the matter of why 13 months later, no decision for my husband. What can you recommend?
I would recommend, coming up, we're going to be talking to Abadier about mandamus and APA claims. And he's going to be talking about people who have pending adjustment for more than 12 months should be filing mandamus actions. And people who went for an adjustment interview and their adjustment interview is pending more than 120 days, by law, the immigration is already breaking the law. They're supposed to give you a decision within 120 days. So, and yes, it is disgusting, and yes, they're breaking the law, and the only way to do anything about it is take them to court, which is why we have Abadier sues the government coming up.
All right, our next one comes from Mary Anderson saying, "Hey Brad, asking for a friend. Her boyfriend wanted to get married to her, but the problem is he's 61 years old and she's 37. So she wants to know if it's going to be a problem. He's retired and he doesn't pay taxes. He's working with the state of America for 35 years.
He's working with the state of America?
That's what...
The country of America.
Maybe the State Department?
State Department.
State Department.
Well, if he's retired and he gets a pension and his pension's enough to support you, great. And if not, then you'll get a second affidavit of support from somebody else.
Hina said, I applied for my VAWA last month. I received 2 letters, one for receiving the documents and one for the fingerprint. They said they have my post biometric, so they don't need the fingerprint. What's the next process?
Wait for an interview.
All right, Jillian says, I'll be migrating to the U.S. in the next 2 months. I was filed for. However, I'd like to know how soon after being in the U.S. can I get my green card so I can return to my home country to marry my fiance.
Who was filed for? So he's coming with his green card?
So Jillian is a girl. She'll be coming to the U.S. in the next 2 months.
With their immigrant visa. Okay. So as soon as you enter the United States, they're going to put a stamp in your passport with a temporary I-551 stamp. You can return the next day back to your home country and marry your fiance. 24 hours later, have a return flight.
Nice.
Talk the Truth said, hey, Brad and family, I'm waiting for an interview in Miami from 2017. Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, Trump is purposely delaying everybody's immigration cases to frustrate not only legal immigration, but also frustrating immigration in general. And if you watch coming up, if we get the sound all fixed on Abadier Sues the Government, you'll see exactly what's going on, and you're going to see exactly what we're doing here at Spar Bernstein, our attorneys, to fix those problems.
All right, our next one is from Pal Joe 6914, saying, good evening, Brad and crew. I'm a green card holder, but it expired and my driver's license needs to be renewed. What can I take to the DMV to renew my license?
What was expired?
Driver's license and
you need proof
the
that
green card.
Well, you need proof that you're legal. So either you need a valid green card or a valid work permit.
But the green card is expired.
Then you got to renew your green card. They're not going to renew your driver's license without a valid green card.
We've got a question from Ramona Hazel, who said, is it normal to file your immigration papers, but you haven't received a work permit, but you got an interview date? Should I be worried about this process?
Is it normal to
So she filed, or was filed for, it seemed, got an interview date before she got her work permit, so she's worried about it.
She got no, she didn't get an interview date. What she got was a notice, or she went online that says you're ready to be scheduled for an interview, but she didn't get an interview date yet. She would get a work permit first, and the interviews are taking well over 12 months.
She said date.
I highly doubt it.
All right.
Akeem says, my wife got a date for a citizenship interview. I'm in the U.S., but will pass 6 months after April 7th. When she submitted her documents, she submitted the marriage certificate. Will that affect her?
No. She's allowed to be married.
We've got a question from Anything Goes, who
Anything
said,
goes.
Anything Goes Media.
Ah.
Actually.
Okay. Anything goes over there. Not like here.
No, you run a tight ship.
We're on a
Brad.
tight ship here.
As
Right.
no shenanigans here.
Nothing.
At all.
None of any kind. Anything Goes Media says, if I don't get my green card as of yet, can I file my taxes for both of us? I'm assuming that's spouse. We've been married for 4 years and recently filed the I-130.
Yes, you can. And if your spouse doesn't have a social security number, then file a W-7 with the 1040 return and get her a tax, or get him a tax identification number.
All right, and our next one is from Ferilia, saying, what are the forms you need to file for your green card? My husband is a U.S. citizen and I'm in the U.S. right now.
You need an adjustment package, which would be the I-45, the I-130, the I-130A, the I-864, a second I-864 if your husband doesn't make enough money, the I-765 for the work permit, the I-131 for the advanced parole. You need to submit it with 3 years tax returns, a job letter, a bank letter. You need your marriage certificate, your birth certificate, proof your husband is a citizen, divorce decrees, and death certificates of prior spouses, along with your passport on how you entered the United States of America. Put that together, fill out all the forms, send it in with $1,760. You're on your way.
All right, we've got another question from Shanique, who said, could a green card holder be a joint sponsor?
Yes.
All right, we have one from Marge Higgs saying, just a thought that comes across as a question. If you applied for a VAWA and has a payment plan, should one still continue to pay if it's on hold?
What do you mean a payment plan with who?
If you apply for a VAWA and it has a payment plan.
There's no payment plan on a VAWA. Are you talking about a legal fee?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think she's talking about legal fees, maybe.
So should one still continue to pay if it's on hold?
If your lawyer's working for you, yes, you should pay. If your lawyer's not working for you, then you shouldn't pay. Your lawyer's worth is the time he or she spends on your case. That's basically it.
We've got a question from Mohammed, who said, how long would it take to process a marriage-based green card in 2019?
12 to 24 months.
All right, and next one from First Lady Hewitt saying, my friend wanted me to ask this question, which I hope your friend is actually watching this show. She came here on a switch picture visa. Her picture was not her name, and other information. She's now married to an American citizen for 6 years. Will she get a green card adjustment of status?
She's married to a U.S. citizen for 6 years?
Yes.
And she came on somebody else's name? She's going to need a waiver at some point in time.
You know, we get that a lot, but like, how is that legal?
It's not legal.
Okay, so like...
That's why you're not entitled to a green card.
Right, but like, for you to still be able to switch, you know, the waiver...
How do they do
or like
it?
Use a waiver to...
How do they? What is the question?
No, like but you could still get a green card by like
you
submitting
can. That
a
doesn't
waiver.
mean you will. You know. It's very easy for me to say, yeah, just file a waiver.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe it sounds like to people that, oh, you just fill out this form and everything is okay.
Right.
It's not that simple. You know, you have to prove extreme hardship to your spouse, extreme and unusual hardship. It's a very high level to prove. You need a very good lawyer to help you do that. Mm-hmm. But waivers do get approved. Mm-hmm. But by definition, if it's unusual hardship, that means a majority of waivers would not get approved.
Got you.
Okay, we've got another question. Sorry. We've got another question from Amma, who said, my workplace is sponsoring my perm visa. By the way, shout out to Amma, who's on spring break and can watch the entire show live.
Hey, all right.
Amma says, my workplace is sponsoring my permanent visa. They got the wage determination certificate. Could you explain the next steps? My DS expires in August, and I already got my 2-year home visit waiver. I'm worried that there's not going to be enough time to get it all done.
Wait, she got the J waiver, and what's the problem?
Her DS is going to expire in August, and they just received the wage determination certificate.
She's doing a perm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to have a problem. You give us a call and figure out. I don't know the answer, but certainly you're going to fall out of status, and you're going to have a problem. So give us a call. I don't have the answer for you, but yes, your concern is a proper concern. Now, I do want to tell everybody that there was a whole bunch of questions about that we've had in the past about people who are waiting for their green cards. Under the Trump administration, individuals who are in the process of applying for asylum are finding that their cases are being delayed, along with adjustment of status. Spar Bernstein's immigration attorney, Abadir Barre, joined me to discuss how we're working to help our viewers who have had their asylum hearings pending for more than 3 years in another edition of Abadier Sues the Government. America has always offered asylum to refugees or migrants who arrived in the United States after fleeing persecution or violence in their country. Under the Trump administration, individuals who are in the process of applying for asylum are finding that their cases are being delayed for years. Spar Bernstein immigration attorney Abadir Barre is with me today to discuss how we are working to help our viewers who have had their asylum hearings pending for more than 2 years in another edition of Abadier Sues the Government. So Abadier, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. So first of all, why don't you explain what asylum is?
Asylum is a protection granted to foreign nationals that are seeking asylum, protection from their home country, here at the border or within the United States. The protocol defined refugee as a person who is unable or unwilling to return to their home country for fear of persecution. The persecution has to be on the account of 5 protected classes: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or social group. The U.S. took this definition and put it into the Refugee Act of 1980. Since then, it's been part of our Immigration and Nationality Act, and we've been giving asylum to people at the border and within the United States.
So we have to grant asylum based on international treaties that we have signed with others.
Correct.
Now, the biggest difference that people don't understand between asylum and fleeing persecution and fleeing violence, those are 3 different things, okay? You can be persecuted, but not be a member of a social group, and not be being persecuted because of race, religion, nationality. You could be persecuted because, you know what, your neighbor just doesn't like you, and they're just persecuting you every day. It could be persecution just because they don't like the way you look at them. But you don't belong to a social group unless all neighbors are being persecuted.
Right.
On the same time, just because you live in a violent country and there are bullets flying over your head, I mean, you could be in a war-torn country, and there are bullets flying over your head, you're not getting asylum unless you fall within one of those 5 groups. Now, can you give me an example of some things that you've worked on?
Right. So for religious, I did asylum for somebody who was a Christian minority in a Muslim country.
And they were being persecuted
on the account of their religion.
On the account of their religion.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Now, I have done an asylum case for somebody who lived in a country where they were a homosexual.
Right.
And in that particular country, it's not a surprise, Jamaica,
Right.
They persecute homosexuals when it's discovered.
Correct. Yes.
So that person got asylum as well.
Yes.
Because they belong to that
social group.
Right. Give me another one.
Political opinion is a big one. So actually, my family got asylum based on political opinion because my family was in the previous government in Somalia in the 90s before we came here. So
you were a child
Yes.
of somebody who was granted asylum.
Asylum.
All right, so
so the political, we got it strictly on political asylum is how we got it. So that's one example. Race could be where one ethnic group is persecuted.
Another ethnic group.
A minority ethnic group, right, in the country. And
what about like a social group, like, you know, farmer or I mean, how do you, like, somebody doesn't fit into one of those categories, how do we develop a social group that they would fit into?
So social group is the most difficult to get because you have to define the social group, and the courts really want you to articulate it very well and a well-defined and specific social group. So I've done social groups where certain family members in that group, maybe you were persecuted and then your brother and then your father and your uncles, or maybe you're part of a social movement, right? I've done those as well.
And I'll give you a perfect example of people who were part of a social group,
right,
who now the U.S. Attorney says is not a social group. Okay?
Correct.
If you follow Bradshaw Live on a regular basis and you're following the news on a regular basis, you'll see that people are coming up from Central America and they're applying for asylum based on being an abused spouse.
Correct.
And that was their social group.
Yes.
I'm applying as an abused spouse.
Yes.
My spouse beats me up and the government's not helping me. I'm being persecuted.
Right.
And my social group is abused spouses. But now the U.S. Attorney says abused spouse is not a social group.
Yeah.
That's how Trump is using that social group legal characterization to deny an entire group of asylum applicants.
Yes, yeah, and everywhere before that, victims of domestic violence, even here in the United States, if there's a social group here, if victims of domestic violence in the United States fled to Canada or some other country, they would get asylum based on the fact that victims of domestic violence is a well-defined social group.
And there's plenty of people who are now in litigation on that particular issue in the federal courts.
Yes.
Now let's get towards what you do, which is you represent people in asylum, but what you really do is represent people in asylum who are getting a bad deal and a bad rap, and you got to bring this case to federal court because the Trump administration is just screwing people over left and right. But before we get there, how many people in the United States are annually granted asylum?
For the past, I believe, 12 years or so, it's been about roughly around 24,000.
24,000 people have been granted asylum.
Since about the mid-2000s, in 05 or so, they've been about
So it's not hundreds and hundreds of thousands or millions of people coming to the border, inundating us, and being granted asylum to come live in America.
That's correct.
It is out of a country of 300 million people, the United States is granting approximately 24,000 people asylum per year.
Yes.
What is the benefits of being granted asylum?
So the benefits are that you're allowed legal status to stay, an opportunity to work, you get a social security card, and if you're an asylee, then you can petition for your family members back home as well that are also fleeing persecution.
Now, one of the most important things you got to remember when you apply for asylum is that it has to be done within the first year you enter the United States of America. If you cannot file for asylum after you have been in the United States for more than 365 days, unless, of course, circumstances have changed.
Yeah,
But
right.
the general rule is you got to file within the first year.
And you have to be very specific with the changed circumstances. Oftentimes people will just say, oh, well, I can't go back home now because if I go back home, then they'll start persecuting you now. And that's not it. You have to have something
Correct.
outside that happens that creates a new persecution. Right?
Correct.
It can't just be, I left 20 years ago because I was being persecuted. I didn't file my asylum application then. If I go back, I'll still be persecuted.
And you have to be credible about what you're saying. You just
Correct.
can't walk in and say, I'm gay.
Yes.
You know, you got to prove it. I had a case once where a man who was a Muslim man came from Iran.
Okay.
And after he came to the United States, he decided to convert to Christianity. And when that happens, you're going to
Yes.
get persecuted back
Right.
in Iran
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
And the big question on the asylum officer's mind is, did he really do it out of a genuine belief in Christianity,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
did he just convert
Right.
for the sake of getting asylum?
Right.
And that was the biggest issue, was his credibility
Right.
in really doing what he was doing. There was no
Yes.
question that he converted.
Right, yes.
But it was just the genuineness of it actually also goes to
Right.
his credibility as
For
well.
sure, yeah, and that happens actually with a lot of Chinese applicants where they come and they say, "Oh, now I'm Christian," and China suppresses
Right.
religion, and the officers will say, "What church do you go to? How often do you go to church?
Right.
What denomination are you?" And if you don't
truly
truly
believe this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, in order to truly believe it, you got to know what church you
Yeah.
go to and what you believe in and
Right.
what's going on at the church.
Yeah, and if you have a frivolous asylum application, you're barred from other forms of relief. So it's very serious.
Yeah. So Donald Trump changed the whole thing. Tell me what Donald Trump has changed.
Well, before what would happen is people would come in and file for asylum, and there's two forms of filing. There's affirmative and defensive. Affirmative is when you come in, you file for your asylum, either at the border or within the United States within the first year, right? And then after you file your application, it goes to the immigration office, USCIS, and if it's approved, you get asylee status. If it's denied, you go to immigration court, and then you renew that application, but it's defensive, because at that point, you are in deportation proceedings, or as they call it, removal proceedings. So asylum is your defense from removal.
And if you win, you are granted asylum, and then 1 year later, you're allowed to apply for your green card.
Correct, yes.
Now, what Donald Trump has really changed is the processing times in all of this.
Yes, yeah.
Okay? Before, it was first in, first out. So whoever was waiting the longest for their asylum hearing would be the next in line for their asylum hearing.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened is there's a lot of shady people out there, and they say, wow, it's taken 4, 5, 6, 7 years to be granted an asylum interview. You know what? I'm going to apply for asylum. Or maybe somebody's not even aware that they're applying for asylum. They go to a shady lawyer or a shady paralegal, and they say, apply for asylum, because you're not going to get an interview for 6, 7 years. And you know what? After 180 days of a pending asylum application, guess what you get? A work permit. So it's a good way to cheat the system. I'm not telling anybody to do this, but it's a good way.
It's happening. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Okay, to cheat the system
Yes.
to get a work permit. But what ultimately happens is you get an interview eventually, and then it's discovered that you have no asylum claim, and now you're in deportation.
Yeah, and you're barred from other. Yeah,
Correct.
If it's a frivolous application.
Correct. So what Donald Trump is doing is he's trying, as a policy, to prevent people from filing asylum cases for two reasons. One, he doesn't want to give people work authorization that otherwise wouldn't be eligible, but also he's trying to make it very difficult for people to be granted asylum. How did you make it difficult for people to be granted asylum? From the moment you file the asylum, you grant them a very fast hearing. So why does that make it difficult? Because it takes time to put together a case. It takes time to develop your evidence. It takes time to send back home to get things. It takes time to get your story down in a credible, thematic, and chronological order. You can't file for asylum and get a hearing in 90 days and think you're going to be ready for it. Or ready with evidence, ready with your story, ready with everything that you need to prove your asylum claim. These are serious things.
Yeah.
So Trump's doing two things. One is he's trying to prevent people from applying, frivolous cases, but also on the real cases, he's trying to make it as hard as possible for anybody to get a case approved.
Yes.
It's like going to trial. Say, Abadier, you know what? We're going to go to trial on this huge, huge case. If it's very, very complicated, you got 60 days to do it.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
And my documents, my vital biographical documents, sometimes my passport, or my birth certificate, and everything else is back home. My evidence is back home. My witnesses are not around yet.
Right.
And so it's not just you're going to trial in 60 days, but everything I need, all the ammunition to go to trial is not with me.
Exactly. A lot of people who would otherwise be eligible for asylum are getting denied.
Right.
Now, what does that do for the people who filed last year or the year before,
Yeah.
or 3 years before, or 5 years before, they wait. They wait longer and longer and longer.
Right.
We have somebody who contacted us recently who filed an asylum in 2008 and still hasn't gotten an interview
Imagine
yet.
that. Yeah.
Okay? For 10 years they've been
Right.
waiting.
Yeah,
All
every
right.
year renewing their EAD, they're separated from their families, waiting in limbo for their case. It's unacceptable.
So on this show, Abadier, on a regular basis,
Mm-hmm.
almost daily, we will get a call or a social media question.
Yes.
I filed for asylum 3 years ago. When will I get my interview? I filed for asylum 5 years ago. I still haven't gotten an interview. 7 years ago. And the only thing I can do is look into my magic 8 ball because I have no idea when you're going to get it.
Yeah.
I know one guy who's waiting 10 years.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Your life's in limbo, Abadier. Tell me what you do.
You have to file a lawsuit. As Brad said before, there was processing times. There was an order to things with the Obama administration, the Bush administration. People would file for their asylums, and you could check and say, okay, the wait time for interviews is 1.5 years or 2 years. But now somebody will call, and you can't even tell him anything because he's turned the process on its head. So the only thing you could do is file a lawsuit and challenge the regulation.
Now, in our last episode of Abadir Sues the Government, we talked about pending I-130 visa petitions, people who have had visa petitions pending for a long time.
Right.
And you said file a mandamus,
Yes.
which is force the government to make a decision.
Yes.
In this particular case, are you also filing a mandamus?
Correct, yes.
It is the same exact
It's the
thing.
same suit. It's the same suit, but this has an additional claim to it, which is an APA claim, which is Administrative Procedures Act. So that Administrative Procedures Act is a federal statute that mandates all agencies, not just USCIS, but all agencies to follow their regulations and procedures.
So let's start with mandamus,
Let's start with mandamus, sure.
when you file a lawsuit
Yes.
against the government,
Yes.
a mandamus says it's a federal judge saying to the Immigration Service, make a decision, thumbs up, thumbs down on this case.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
It's specifically, it's exactly that, but specifically a mandamus is an act, and the act is an order from a superior court to an inferior court or agency here, mandating them to fulfill their
obligations.
legal duty specifically.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now the APA claim. So you're saying in a mandamus, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yes.
Okay. That's layman's terms.
Yes, right.
Okay. And in the APA claim, which is the Administrative Procedures Act, you say you got to follow your own rules. You can't.
Yes.
You can't make up rules.
Right.
And then not follow them.
Yes.
Okay. So now, what do you say to somebody? Because this is what's on everybody's minds. It's great.
Yes.
My case is pending a long time. Let's go sue the government. And I say, what are you, out of your mind? I'm not going to go sue the government. They're going to come and deport me. They're going to come and arrest me. Or they're going to screw my case over. What do you say about that?
Actually, what happens more is instead of them being mad at you, it's them putting them on the hot seat and forcing them to properly adjudicate your
Right, because in essence, they now know
Yes.
that you have an attorney
Yes.
that will have a federal judge review everything they do.
Yes.
Including delaying your case.
Yes.
And if they screw with you again,
Yes.
they know they're going back into federal court again.
Correct.
Because they've screwed your case a second time.
Yes,
And a
yes.
third time.
Right.
So as a matter of fact,
Yes.
my answer to most people is it's the opposite.
Right.
Okay? If you go sue the government, they're not going to screw you over.
Yes.
They're going to do everything by the book.
Yes.
They're not going to make one mistake because they know they're going to get their asses dragged right back into court again.
Yep.
And they don't want that.
No.
They don't want that.
Once you sue on a case, USCIS typically wants to get rid of that case as soon as possible. They don't want the headache of a federal Article 3 lifetime appointed judge to be hanging over their case. They want to get that case done and out of their office.
So now tell me about an example of somebody that you filed a mandamus application for. Okay, they had a pending asylum case for years.
Yeah.
You filed this mandamus. You filed the APA claim.
Right.
You brought them into federal court.
Yes.
What happened with their case? Did they get deported?
No, they didn't get deported. In fact, they got their interview, and then their case got approved, and they moved on.
Give me a little background.
There was two Syrians that had been here since, I think at that time, they had been here since 2014 or 15, I can't remember, and been waiting for the asylum for 3.5, 4 years. We sued, got the interview date, went to the interview, completed the case.
How long does the lawsuit take?
When I brought that suit, it was all done in 2 months, less
From
than
the
6
time the lawsuit started to the time of the interview was 2 months.
No, I think the time they even hired me to the time that.
Oh,
they got
not
the
even the
interview.
lawsuit.
Yeah. I
8
think
weeks.
Yeah, I think.
After
the time.
somebody's waiting years and years
Right,
and years.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so now obviously prior successful results don't guarantee a similar outcome, but this is the type of thing that you would get. And when you sue the government, the officer, when you go into the interview, they're going to be like, I better do this right because I don't want to be brought back into court again.
Yes.
The last thing people, believe it or not, the last thing that U.S. immigration officers and the USCIS and ICE officials want is they don't want to be brought into court and have their dirty bag of tricks uncovered.
Right.
Okay?
Correct.
They want to keep the cover on everything.
Right,
So
yes.
they said, all right, we'll give it to this guy.
Yes.
So he'll leave us alone.
Yes. And actually, what happens also, people don't know, is that a lot of these career USCIS officials don't agree with the policies.
That's correct.
So when they get sued and they say, all right, we have this many cases, you have to move on it, they do move on it because
Correct.
they understand, oh, this person is saying...
Some or even many of them.
Yes.
I don't have this exact
Right.
number because we haven't done a poll. Many are sympathetic.
Yes, many are.
Many are.
And many want to do their jobs the proper way.
Correct.
And they don't agree with this LIFO policy. They
That's
don't agree
correct.
with holding on to I-130s for multiple years. They don't agree with holding, any kind of application well beyond the normal processing times.
Abadir, I think it's apparent, but for those of you who don't realize, what should somebody do if they have an asylum case that's been pending for a while, or they have a loved one or a friend who has an asylum case pending for a while? What do you think they should do?
Call us.
Call us.
And we'll put together a lawsuit, and we'll get you your interview as soon as possible.
All right. So the telephone number for Abadir at Spar Bernstein is the same telephone number to call us on our Bradshaw Live show. 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. It's a number for law offices at Spar Bernstein. It's also the number to call to get your questions answered for free right here on our show. Abadir, wonderful job as always.
Thank you.
As again, prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome. But right now, in the time of Donald Trump, especially now that there's no collusion, okay, you better have good lawyers on your side who are ready to go to bat for you.
Right.
And I'm sitting next to one right now. Abadir, great job.
Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. All right, so we're going to go to our first round now of social media check-in. All right, what do you got, Kim? What do you got, Yonathan?
Got a question.
You got a
from
question? Okay.
Mohammed, our very first
Yes, your very first one of the day. Yes.
I've got a question from Mohammed Ramzan, who says, I'm a U.S. citizen and my husband is on the F1 visa. We got married in 2016 outside the U.S. My husband on the F1 came to the U.S. in 2017, and I came to the U.S. a year later in 2018. First question, how many years of tax returns do we need? The income for 2017 was approximately $17,000, half from foreign investments and half from working on campus. Could we include his foreign income or not?
Is this to do what? What are they trying to do
When
here?
they're filing their tax returns
For
this
what,
year.
For what purpose are they doing it? They're both on, one is on an F1 visa and one is the spouse of an F1 visa.
Right, is a U.S. citizen spouse.
Oh, it's a U.S. citizen spouse.
Yes.
You have to put all your income from all over the world on your tax returns.
And how many years of tax returns do they need to file the adjustment of status? So they got married in 2016.
Well, they're gonna ask for 3 years taxes, but if you don't have 3 years taxes, it sounds like you're gonna need an affidavit of support from a second person anyway, whether you have the 3 years or not.
All right, our second one comes from Muhammad Youssef saying, hey, sir, I came here as a K-1 visa and got married and applied for my green card and work permit for 2 months before. But my question is, I've passed my driver's license, but the DMV denied to produce the driver's license because they said that I have to show legal residence here. What can I do? I showed them that my green card is pending.
Well, you have to get your work permit. So if you don't get your work permit, motor vehicles is not going to give you the driver's license. That's basically it.
First Lady Hewitt says, okay, this one is not for a friend. My U.S. citizen grandmother filed for my mom in 2013, and my brother was added to that filing because he was under 21 at the time. Now that NVC has sent a mail for payments and so on, but my brother now has a 2-year-old baby. Can we add her to the application, and
No.
if so, how?
No, you don't. You can only go down one generation.
Okay,
You can't go down 2 generations.
So once brother gets his green card, then he could file for his daughter.
Correct.
All right,
Or he can bring the child if the child is under 2 years old and it's his first entry into America. Then they'll allow him to bring the child.
Now the child is 2 years old.
No, too late.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, Sheila Brown says, good afternoon, Brad and crew. My friend is going to get married in May. How early she has to send the invitations? Okay, so how early does she have to send the invitations for me to take it to the U.S. Embassy to see if they'll grant me the visa?
Now, they're getting married in May. It's in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why haven't you sent out your wedding invitations
Yeah,
yet, friend?
I mean, I think dear Abby says the etiquette's 6 weeks.
yeah.
Right?
For a wedding, it's
For
like
a wedding,
6 months.
6
I was about to
months.
say-
No, you put 6 months, save the date.
Let's save the date.
Right, and
Right.
then it's like 6 weeks in advance, right?
But would a save the date be?
What?
I would say at least 2 months.
I mean,
Right?
you know, I mean,
Yeah.
Because you have to buy
you're doing weddings and bar
tickets.
mitzvahs every week,
Right.
right? I mean, if anyone would know, it's you.
Right. You have to buy tickets if you don't live locally.
Right.
My big question is, how come you haven't got the invitation yet? Maybe you're not invited.
Oh,
Oof. Now,
tough.
would a save the date work for immigration purposes?
Yeah, why not?
Haha. So you should have gotten the proof you needed 6 months ago.
I mean, because it doesn't really matter why you're coming here. More important is, are you leaving?
Right.
That's really what they're really concerned about.
We've got a question from Kavisha who said, Brad, can a stepmother sponsor her stepdaughter? And if so, how can she do it?
As long as the marriage happened before the child turned 18. So if the stepmom married the biological father before the child was 18, you're the stepmom. Then you file an I-130 visa petition.
All right, Pauline Williams says, Brad,
Excuse me.
Is public charge in effect for foreign nationals who are applying or green cards? Also, can you briefly explain public charge or correction who are applying for a green card?
Public charge applies to everyone applying for a green card unless it's asylum or a VAWA. But general green card applications, family-based, employment-based, investment-based, religious worker-based, you have to be above the poverty guidelines. What are the poverty guidelines? Whatever the Department of Health and Human Services says is the minimum poverty guidelines to be above the poverty level in the United States of America on any given year. And not only do you not have to be above the poverty level, you got to show that you're 125% above the poverty level unless you're married to somebody who's in the military.
Natasha Baburam said, can I file a VAWA application next week?
Well, right now, Congress is going to be having a vote, the House of Representatives, on VAWA next week. So, or earlier this, or later this week. I think it's actually Wednesday, if my recollection is correct. Then it has to pass the Senate. Then the president has to sign it. So I doubt you'll be able to file it next week, but hopefully in the near term. The biggest issue, by the way, is not the actual VAWA for the immigration. Everybody agrees to that. The Democrats actually are adding additional language onto the VAWA legislation that has nothing to do with the immigration part of VAWA. It has to do with people who are found guilty of domestic abuse, spouses, boyfriends, fathers, uncles, whoever it may be, aunts, whatever it is. It could be a female. They want to bar them from being able to get a gun license. And the Republicans are fighting that. And that's really why VAWA hasn't passed yet.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Amanda Newell says, when they transfer your case to another field office, does the date pick up from the time you filed, or does it start from the date the other field office receives it?
You go to the back of the line of that field office.
Oof.
Oof.
Don Harriet said, can the court rule against your asylum case and then deport you?
Yes, why not?
Parmanand says, can a U.S. citizen child sponsor his parent 90 days before the child turns 21?
Yes, as long as the I-130 is filed before the child turns 21 and you're a U.S. citizen, that child is under 21 for life. You make sure you get that I-130 filed.
Vanish Beckford is in here asking for a friend. Her friend just filed his adjustment of status, but his affidavit of support was missing. So they denied him, and he explained that they explained that it was because a lack of financial support evidence. So what should he do? Also, they said there was no evidence of inadmission.
You need to refile again. You need to prove that you made a legal entry into America, and you need a good affidavit of support. So you were denied. You got to refile again and get it right. Hopefully get a good lawyer.
Get Brad.
That one. That's the good lawyer that he told
Right.
you about getting.
Yes. Baby share good.
Baby share good?
Yes.
Baby share?
share good.
Okay.
That's
Good.
obviously a new person.
That's right.
A friend came here, and when she came through CPS officer, they had her they have her a no COS, AOS, AOS.
Yes, no change of status, no adjustment of status.
Okay, can she get a judgment of status?
If they wrote no change of status, no adjustment of status, can she get adjustment of status? She could try, actually. I was going to actually make it.
Is it a judgment
No.
is it adjustment?
When she came into the airport, the ICE officer said no change of status, no adjustment of status. But ultimately, that decision is going to be up to the immigration officer when you file your adjustment. So you need a good lawyer.
First Lady Hewitt has a follow-up. She had asked about her brother had a 2-year-old baby, and he was on her filing with mom. You see what I'm saying? So grandma was filing for mom, so brother got on.
Yes,
that
I know,
filing.
but now that's a fourth generation.
And now
You
there's a
can't
fourth
go-
generation.
You can't do it.
However,
Yes.
she also has her cousin is in that exact same situation, but the baby is under 2 years old.
Then that baby would be able to come if the baby is brought on the first entry. The cousin's coming in.
And do they need to file anything in
You need to
particular
go. You
for
need
that
to go
baby?
bring the baby to the embassy, and you'll give her a document to travel to the United States and wait in the United States for that mother to now file an I-130 visa petition for that child. But the child will be paroled in.
Got it.
Farid says, my wife's immigration visa refused under Section 212A6CL. What is the solution for this?
I don't know what 212A6C. I haven't memorized the Immigration Nationality Act. So tell me the exact reason why it was denied, and I'll be able to help you.
Material misrepresentation or fraud.
Thank you very
No
much.
problem.
Well, then you need a waiver. She lied.
Bad news bears, y'all. Don't lie to immigration.
Yes, exactly.
Asset Lindo said, what if the marriage took place before the child was 18, but now the child is 26? How long would it take to now file for that child? So
You're talking
stepmom
about,
filing for
then
stepdaughter.
it would be like, the stepmom would be in the shoes of a natural mother, 7 years.
Okay.
Misal Salad says, hello, I got married to my fiance and we have 2 kids. My husband applied for a green card based on the marriage. Can our children be bona fide relationship, or we have to show more evidence?
Children are bona fide relationship at the time, years ago. You still have to be able to show, let's say your children are 10, 12 years old. Well, that shows is 10 years ago you had a bona fide relationship. It doesn't mean you have one today. If you have babies, it's a different story.
Dinesh Singh is wondering if someone who has spent more than 2 years in the United States file for asylum.
Only for changed circumstances. If we talked about it with Abadier on our show, you have to file within the first year unless there's a changed circumstance. The most basic changed circumstance that always comes in my practice, because I have a lot of Jamaican clients, is that a person comes from Jamaica. I see this a lot for Jamaicans at least.
Right.
Person comes from Jamaica. They're here for several years. They then enter into a same-sex relationship or even a same-sex marriage, and for some reason they don't get their green card through that marriage or that relationship. But now their life's in danger if they go back to Jamaica because their family and everybody found out that they're in a same-sex relationship, and people get killed and stoned and beat up there. When it's discovered. So that would be a changed circumstance. But you have to show something changed after you got here for 1 year. You just can't say, oh, I was always scared, but now I'm filing 2 years later.
All right, and that's it for now.
That's it. So meanwhile, I do have to remind everybody about our Instagram before we go into social media check-in.
That's right.
I do have an Instagram account. It's called @RealBradBernstein. You can follow me, and if I know who you are, I will follow you back. And for those people who are going to make comments on Facebook and YouTube and say, hey, Brad, I follow you, you don't follow me back, I would say to you, I don't know that I know you. So send me an instant message or a direct message on Instagram. Tell me who you are, and if I do know you, I will definitely follow you. Because I see sometimes, like Tamika once said, hey, Brad, I follow you, and you don't follow me back, but I don't know, Tamika, I don't know who you are on Instagram. Right. I can't sit there and be a detective and try to figure it out. But you can send me a direct message and introduce yourself. Hey, it's Tamika. You know me from Brad Squad. I'm your buddy. Follow me back. I'm happy to do it. But so follow me at Real Brad Bernstein. And when you follow me at Real Brad Bernstein, you're going to see my travels around the world, all my success stories with my clients, and maybe some behind the scenes here at the show as well. And hopefully very soon, we're going to start cutting up the best of Brad Show Live And you can watch those in the stories on Instagram as well. And Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, you have Instagram accounts as well?
Yes, we do.
We sure do. Sorry.
Go ahead, ladies first.
I didn't mean to step on you there,
No,
Bill.
I see Belgium Kim.
You can follow me on Instagram at Belgium Kim. Thank you, Jessica Leamy, who slid up in my DMs over the weekend to let me know that it was Jessica Leamy. So keep doing that. I'm asking the same thing from Brad. Slide in my DMs and let me know that it's you so I can follow you back.
Absolutely, and you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV. I show a lot of what I do just basically in the life of Yonathan. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I will be going to Puerto Rico, so you will be seeing a lot of activities happening on my IG.
All right, Yonathan, as they say, adios.
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos. And because today is April Fool's Day, I'm told that we have an April Fool's game for all the fools out there. April
Look at that.
What is that, a donut?
No, it's a Jack in the
Let me
Box.
see that again.
It's a Jack in the Box.
Oh, that's cute. It's a
Groundhog!
Oh, it's a groundhog. Oh, it's a groundhog. Boy, I gotta get my eyes fixed. I'm like, I thought that somebody was jumping on a donut. That was excellent. Excellent.
That's adorable.
I like that. All right, so what's our April Fool's game? And I'm going to invite everybody to play along.
Okay, as you guys know, every year there are dozens of companies and people who pull April Fool's Day pranks. What I want to know in a very special edition of Real or Fake today is whether or not these wonderful co-hosts of mine, Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias and the one and only Brad Bernstein, can figure out which one of these April Fool's pranks are real and which are not pranks at all, and which ones are completely and utterly fake.
All right.
All right.
All right.
So this is real or fake pranks.
Real or fake pranks.
Okay. Now I am still celebrating from beating Yonathan last week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, but I saw he came early today, so
Yeah.
maybe he looked at the answers before the show.
You never know.
You never know.
You
Now,
never know.
I will say, just because the integrity of our games has been called into question
Yes.
by one Brad Bernstein.
Yes, by the producer of the show.
Right.
The producer of the show is calling it to.
I have backed up and away from Jonathan just
Okay,
a little
fine.
bit, and I
Will
have
people really think I cheat?
Yes.
Brad thinks
Oh,
he should.
Brad. Oh, he
By
doesn't count.
people, we mean Brad.
All right, you ready? How many pranks do you have there?
We've got
Real or fake?
7 because we do not want to run into a tie situation. Okay.
All right, and that's it. Lindo says, Brad, you better beat Yo-Yo today.
Oh, whoa.
She's absolutely right. You better beat Yo-Yo today because this is for your honor, man.
All right.
Okay, number 1. Elon Musk dropped a rap song eulogizing Harambe the gorilla. Do you guys remember Harambe?
Yes, I do.
From the Cincinnati Zoo. They killed Harambe because the little boy fell into his enclosure, and so the zoo officials killed him, and it was a whole thing, justice for Harambe. This was back in 2016 though, and today Elon Musk released R.I.P. Harambe. Lyrics include R.I.P. Harambe, sippin' on some Bombay, we on our way to heaven, amen, amen. R.I.P. Harambe, smoking on some strong hay in the gorilla zoo, and we thinkin' about you. It's been listened to over 1 million times since this morning.
Fake.
Real. Because he's so strange, Elon Musk, and that's so bizarre that I say it's real.
Unbelievable. 1-0, Brad Bernstein. It is completely real.
I was going to go fake, but then
insane.
Yonathan said fake, so I'm like, all right, it's real.
He's so weird. He did in
He's a
fact,
weird guy, though. He's a very weird guy.
Yeah.
I so wish that we could play this, but we can't. But the musical stylings of Belgium Kim will let you know it goes something along the lines of R.I.P. Harambe, sipping on some Bombay. Not even kidding. That's exactly how the song goes. Go check it out on SoundCloud.
All right.
It's hilarious. It's
Next.
hilarious. Gender reveal parties have finally gone one step too far with Farm Rich's gender reveal mozzarella sticks. coming to a frozen food aisle near you. The inside is either blue or pink, depending on the gender of your baby. Parents-to-be have been spending millions of dollars doing weird gender reveal stuff, including smoke on wheels, colored lasagna. And so Farm Rich wanted to cash in, and they said, let's do blue and pink-filled mozzarella sticks.
Fake. Because parents would not give dye, colored dye and to their babies now.
Well, it's not to the baby.
To who?
A gender reveal is...
Gender reveal is for everybody. So say like we all got an
Yeah,
event.
nobody wants to eat pink and blue mozzarella sticks. That's fake.
Okay.
Who's going to buy that?
I'm going to say fake as well.
Yeah? Well, Brad, first of all, you're wrong. I would totally be willing to eat pink mozzarella sticks, but it's completely fake.
Yes, that's totally fake.
They said that
Who would buy that?
They said that their mozzarella sticks are available in the traditional flavor,
Right.
but
Not in pink or
only
blue.
in the traditional
Right.
colors as well. Okay. The latest food craze to hit the store shelves, other than definitely not gender reveal mozzarella sticks, is pea milk. You've heard of oat milk, you've heard of almond milk, but milk made from peas is the newest
Peas.
thing.
Phew.
Peas.
Peas is in the vegetable.
As in the
Yes.
vegetable.
Okay, not pee-pee.
Right,
Not
that's what I
pee-pee.
thought you meant. I was like, ooh.
The company touts that pea milk has more plant-based protein, less sugar, and less saturated fat than any other dairy alternative, while providing a delicious taste. Now, I want the Brad Squad to tell me whether they would try pea milk if it is real, but is it real or is it fake?
I say it's real.
I say
Because they're making milk from everything now. Coconut milk, almond milk. Why not have pea milk?
it's fake.
I say real.
You think it's fake? You think it's real?
Yeah.
Brad Bernstein, you're on a roll.
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll.
Now everyone's going to say I'm cheating, right?
You have been coming early lately.
I've been in the office every day early. What's going on?
So what's our score right now?
3-1, but who's counting?
3 to 1. Who's counting? Apparently not Brad.
I'm going to tell
Right.
you something, Yonathan. It really doesn't matter, who wins. Because, we all respect each other either way.
Mm-hmm.
I just would suggest don't come in second.
Guys, I think we need some camera footage
Yes.
of when did you leave that down? Did you put it down without looking?
I don't know. No, I think these were in my possession at all times.
Yeah, I understand that.
Mm.
Unless Jenny from the cubicle
No,
is
she did
feeding
not.
you
No, she
answers.
did not.
No, I have more.
Jenny? No.
Right.
I'm losing you. I'm losing you.
Yes! That's true or false? True or false?
Behold, the beefless Impossible Whopper. The Impossible Burger that's been sweeping the nation as the only plant-based burger is coming to Burger King in the form of the Impossible Whopper in a market test that could lead to the largest
False.
industry
There's
embrace.
no way Burger King is giving you a vegetable burger. No way.
Okay? Yeah.
False.
True.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 3-2. It's completely true. Even though they announced it today, they'll be starting their market test in St. Louis with a handful.
Who would eat a vegetable burger?
It's a plant-based burger.
It's a
Have you not had the
plant-based.
Impossible Burger? It's
No.
really not bad. And
I've
I'm
never
not a
heard of the
veggie
Impossible
girl,
Burger.
but yeah, they are completely. It's made.
Oh, you had it?
It's yeah. I've had it at Bear Burger. Has been selling them for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so, not to plug Bear Burger, but they're
Right.
delicious. Yeah, Bear
Their
Burger.
ketchup is terrible.
At Bear Burger?
Yes.
That's such a
I'm
random,
telling
weird
you,
thing to be
I had
bad
a
at.
hamburger, Bear Burger. I'm like, this is the worst ketchup I ever had in my life.
Yeesh.
Wow, the ketchup was so bad that it stood out
Stood
in
out-
your burger?
Stood out in my burger.
Wow.
Oh, that's
I've never
horrible.
gone back again.
Okay, well, maybe don't get their
It
ketchup.
would be impossible for me to go back.
Bum, bum.
All right, what's next? All right, 3-2, Yonathan.
3-2.
3-2.
See, he doesn't want to hear any explanation
Yes.
when he does not get it right.
That's right.
Right.
Sticking with food, ladies and gentlemen, the answers to all our prayers. McDonald's is finally releasing shake-flavored dipping sauces They will be released in vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, and the St. Patty's Shamrock Shake. They will be the regular dipping sauces in regular dipping sauce containers, but they will be the delicious flavors of their milkshakes.
Who is this?
McDonald's. Now, I will say, I have been dipping my fries in Frosties and Wendy's Frosties since I was a wee gal.
This is true. I've done that.
I
as
say
well.
fake.
I say fake too, though.
You say fake?
Yes.
You know what, you guys, this really broke my heart, but it's completely fake.
Yes,
And I
it's
really
fake. It sounds
wish
fake.
it were true.
Yeah, that sounds fake.
I really wish
Yeah.
it were true. We're still at 3-2.
No, we're at 4-3.
4-3? 4-3?
I got 4
Yeah.
right.
You got 4 right. I'm sorry.
got 3 right. Yes,
4-3.
4-3, right.
4-3. Little
But who's
scoreboard because
counting?
I cannot remember.
But who's counting?
All right. SodaStream, the little machine that turns your still water into sparkling water, has partnered with astronaut Scott Kelly to turn excess CO2, or what some people call burps, into sparkling water. He said that the excess CO2 that his body generated while in space would cause him to burp a lot.
Oh, come on.
And
That's fake.
And so he said that that they used revolutionary NASA technology to
Fake.
be able.
Fake. Nobody is making soda from some astronaut's gas.
Well, it wouldn't be. It's from your own, so everyone
No,
would be
nobody's
able
making
to
their
buy
own.
this.
Nobody's making their own gas soda.
Okay.
That sounds
Yeah.
really unappetizing. That's
Okay.
fake.
Okay.
What do you think, Yonathan?
There's the technology.
I think it's fake, but just because you said fake, I'm gonna say true.
Ooh.
Just to
Okay.
you know, get everybody off their seats. You know, hang off the edge.
Brad is running away with this. It's 5-3 because it's totally fake.
Yeah, there's no
As
way.
a matter of fact, Scott Kelly even explained after the video that burping in space is actually not possible. But it is based on real scientific data, and
All right.
it could hypothetically work.
There you go.
All right. We have one more.
We've got one.
Oh, one more. I thought that was the last one. That's the reason why I did that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
We've got one more. ThinkGeek last week announced the release of the beanbag onesie. This onesie, which is retailing for $89.99, is made for people who tend to stand in line. Whether you're at a convention, a meet and greet,
That's
a
fake
midnight
also.
premiere, you've got the seat attached to you at all
That
times.
is absolutely fake.
That's true.
True?
Fake. Nobody's wearing a beanbag onesie.
Oh, man. Jan, would you wear a beanbag onesie standing in line like
Absolutely not.
this? You're the
Nobody's
first
wearing that.
one.
Who's wearing that?
Listen, I would totally wear this, but unfortunately I can't because it's completely fake.
Yeah, it's absolutely fake. It's absolutely fake. All right, so I am the winner.
You are the
2
winner.
rights in a row.
Once again.
Once again. So Yonathan and Belgium Kim, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do to share?
Oh, right, family. For the very first time today, we're going to tell you exactly how to let people know to share this show. On Facebook, we want you guys to do a few things. First, we want you to share this as a message to people's inboxes. Hit it up in groups that you're a member of within your inbox, or just individual people that you haven't talked to in a while, and let them know where they can see this show. You can also, when you hit share, there's the option to start a watch party. You can do that, and it'll send a notification to all of your friends to know exactly what your favorite show is. And while we're playing along, whenever we play games, whenever we talk about the news, make sure to tell us what you're thinking in the comments with all of your amazing thoughts. And Yo-Yo, what do they do on YouTube?
All right, on YouTube, you guys definitely still have stuff to do as well. We definitely want you guys to share as much as you can. So if you share, just click on that little arrow that says share, and you could actually share it to text message blast. You can share it straight to your social media platforms. But most importantly, what we want you guys to share it to is a WhatsApp group. So just create a group of people. You can easily make a group. Just throw in people that you think might benefit or just enjoy this show, and you can literally just share it to them as a quick link. Just copy and paste it into the WhatsApp group. And then also, of course, we definitely want to hear what you guys have to say as well, because we will be talking about some news and want to know what you guys have to feel about them. So please, interaction is really big as well. And also like the video. If everybody who's watching on YouTube right now, like the video right now, and make sure that you guys, especially for all of the new people that are watching, make sure you guys subscribe. When you subscribe, you get all kinds of news and emails and notifications from us, all right? So do that right now.
And that's what we have to do. We have to start answering your immigration questions right now. So if you give us a call, I have an answer to your immigration question. And something we like to call, I got an answer to your immigration question. All right, let's go to Wayne in Hartford, Connecticut. Wayne.
All right, good evening, Brad.
Hi, Wayne. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
I'm good. My first question is, my wife I think she has a couple of years. Well, I would say a couple of years. How soon can she actually apply for her citizenship? That's the first question.
What are you, a couple? I don't know what you mean by your wife has a couple of years. How soon could she apply for citizenship?
Well,
does she have a green card?
That's the wrong question. Yes,
she has a green card. How long has she had a green card?
Yes. Over 4 years.
Okay, so when is the 5-year anniversary of her having a green card?
I know it's sometime this year. I'm not certain. I'd have to look at the card itself.
All right, so she can apply 90 days before the 5-year anniversary.
All right. Second question is, can I be on her insurance?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can I also, in the state of Connecticut, I know they also give you an immigrant license. Would it be a problem if I applied for one?
I don't know what's an immigrant license. I don't know what that is. What are you talking about?
They say a non-immigrant, for example, I'm out of status.
Right.
Would it be a problem if I applied for a license?
I don't think you're going to get a driver's license being out of status, but if you can try and do it legally, by all means.
Okay.
But I don't think you're going to get it.
All right.
As far as I'm aware, there's no states doing it anymore. All right, but what should happen is this: your wife is a resident. She should file a visa petition for you right now, and 90 days before the 5-year anniversary, she should file for her citizenship. And then once she becomes a citizen, adjust your status, and we can help you. So hold on one second, okay? That's what should happen.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Let's go to Adam in Boca Raton, Florida. Adam.
Hey, Brad. How you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Good. So I'm a green card holder, filed for my wife, I-130, 2016. It wasn't approved until 2017. At that time, she was on the H-1B, and she left, right? Mm-hmm. So when she left now, I-130 ended up being approved 2018, after she already left.
Right.
So now at that time, 2018, she worked 4 months for an American company that was paying her while she was back home. So now...
she's eligible for her green card.
Excuse me?
She's eligible for her green card. The priority date is current. Where are you at with the I-130?
Now, after they approved the I-130, they did the 824.
Uh-huh.
So we're still waiting on that one to get
Okay. All right. So I think you need a lawyer at this point because you filed the I-130 for her to adjust her status here rather than back in her home country. The I-824 takes 6-9 months. You're going to wait another year and change. I think you're going to need a lawyer to get involved. So hold on one second.
We already have one, but my question is this.
Okay, well, then he's doing a wonderful job.
Because she worked for 4 months for an American company while she was back home, and the paycheck was coming from here. She's going to file taxes for 2018. So the question is, should we do joint or separate? Because she doesn't live here anymore.
You can do a joint or you can do married filing separately, whichever one works better for you.
Okay.
All right.
Which one do you prefer?
I like joint, but whatever you'd like to do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. But if your lawyer filed an I-130 and your case ended up having to do an I-824 after that, that means the lawyer screwed up, but he didn't want to hear.
Right. Because
that means the lawyer said that that the woman's going to get a green card here in the United States. Mm-hmm. So they had the I-130 approval sent to the local office. And now that she's back home, you have to do an I-824 to transfer the case from the local office to the National Visa Center, which takes 6-9 months. Right. Meanwhile, her priority date's current. So she's eligible for a green card right now, and they're still waiting on an
They're still
I-824.
waiting.
But he didn't want to hear. Deborah in Phoenix.
Hi, Mr. Bernstein.
How are you?
I am good, thank you. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
I have my fiance that is, he was petitioned by his parents that are residents. He has two siblings that are citizens. And I was wanting to know about vacating criminal convictions.
Well, I'm confused. Your fiance is being petitioned by his parents, and what'd you say by birth?
This was back in '87. He was petitioned by his parents. He was granted his permit, but in '87 he was arrested for drugs.
Okay, where is he now?
He's in Mexico.
Why is he in Mexico?
Back in 2017, he was pulled over with a friend, and
Is he deported?
yes,
All right. And he was convicted of drugs. How old was he when he came to the United States?
oh God, I think like 14,
Okay,
maybe.
Were his parents citizens before he was 18?
No, they're still residents.
All right. So, yeah, if you have a drug conviction and you're deported, you're not coming back unless they made an error on his deportation case, which I don't know. But he has,
Right.
but he certainly has lots of issues. So he's going to definitely need, me to review his records and see what we can do to help him, especially if he's in another country right now. So hold on one second. Let's go to Norman in Manhattan. Norman.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Good. What can I do to help?
Okay. Yeah, I filed a VAWA case back in 2018, September 10th. And also I concurrently filed I-485, I-131, and I-765 altogether.
Right.
And it's been like 61 days, 161 days for I filed for I-765, I-131, and I-485. So it's still I'm not hearing nothing from.
You filed a VAWA application. You filed a VAWA adjustment. It's taking over 2 years. That's the problem. Okay. It's taking over 2 years.
Oh, it's taking over 2 years.
Correct.
But what about the work authorization or
How long? You should have got it in at least 6 months. How long has it been pending?
Today is 151 days.
151 days. That's what?
5 months and 5 months and 11 days.
Okay, so you should be getting it any day. Okay, if 6 months goes and you don't have it, then you live in Manhattan. I have an office in Manhattan. Come see me.
Okay, and one more question, sir. Okay, one more question. And I am right now. I have my status. I have a F1 status. Still, I'm going to school. And should I want to keep going to school, or I'm doing ESL course? I finished my associates from a community
Go to school until they extend VAWA, just in case they don't extend it and you have a problem.
They don't extend yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Let's go to Marita in Queens.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. My question is, I came into the country on vacation visa in October. I got married to a permanent resident in January, and my time is going to be up in April. So I would like to know what steps do I take to stay here legally.
You can't stay here legally if you're married, especially if your spouse is going to file a visa petition for you. How long has he been a resident?
Like more than 10 years.
All right. So, I mean, conceivably, you can try to get a student visa. Conceivably, you can try to extend your visitor's visa. But those all have non-immigrant intent. And if your intent is to remain permanently in the United States, you have a problem. Has he applied for his citizenship yet?
Yes, he has applied. He went to do the fingerprint sometime in November, but he's still waiting.
Well, you have to be very careful because A, you don't want to overstay your time. B, you don't want to make a misrepresentation, and especially if he's filed an I-130 visa petition for you, you can't extend your time because then you're saying, well, in one hand I'm staying permanently, and in another hand I want to stay temporarily. So there's a lot of careful things that you have to deal with. I would suggest you have a consultation with us, and we can talk about it in greater detail. So hold on one second, okay? Let's go to Raymond, if we can get this right. Raymond in St. Catherine, Jamaica. Raymond.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good evening, Dad.
What's going on?
Good evening, Dad.
Good evening.
Yes, I have two questions to ask.
Go ahead.
Yes, I have my daughter. She's a citizen. Just getting citizenship, and she's going to school now. She used to work and she stopped work, but she's going to school now. Could she file for me?
Yes, she's a citizen. She's over 21. She can file for you. And if she doesn't make enough money or she doesn't make any money, you could always have an affidavit of support from somebody else.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
That is one question. Now, I have another one. I have a granddaughter living with us because I have a visiting visa, me and my wife, but my granddaughter is living with us. Can we carry her to the embassy and get a visiting visa for her also?
You can try. I don't know. Maybe they'll give it. Maybe they won't.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But I
Okay,
can't tell you. Okay.
All right.
He didn't like that, but I don't have the answer. I don't know whether he's going to get a visitor's visa or not for the granddaughter. Latoya in Rochester, New York.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, my name is yes. My sister, she's a DACA student. She is supposed to, her DACA expires in August. And our dad, he filed for our green card, and we're supposed to do the fingerprinting sometime this summer. On Saturday, she got arrested for a petty theft in Walmart and has a court date sometime in May. What are some of the ramifications of that?
Well, hopefully it's a petty offense and she's found either innocent or the case is dismissed or she's found guilty of a petty offense. But she's on DACA now and she's applying for a green card. You're allowed one petty offense, but you still have to show good moral character. It's never good to be arrested. Okay, but what she wants to be, if this is her only if this would be her only conviction ever, you definitely want to make sure if it's in New York that it's a misdemeanor and she does not go to jail, and then that would be considered a petty offense.
They said it was going to be a petty offense. There was no jail time, and it was most likely either community service or a fine.
Then she will still have to prove good moral character, but she'll be able to keep her DACA and should be able to get her green card without a waiver.
Okay, so does she have to do like a waiver for her DACA no?
Not for a petty offense.
No. Okay,
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Robert in Orlando. Robert,
hi.
Hey, how are you?
How are you, Brad? Good, thank you. I got the fingerprints now, and we're waiting for our interview. And my wife is pregnant; she's a citizen, and we'll give birth anytime now. But we're not sure if the child is mine or not. Now, how this works in this case, and what we can do about it?
Your wife has a child, and she's not sure if it's yours or not.
Yes, she's gonna have. She's gonna have soon.
But how long have you guys been married?
More than 2 years.
Okay, so she may have cheated on you, is what you're saying.
Well, we had a fight once and we broke up for a few weeks.
I don't. Well, if you're married to her, okay, the law presumes you are the father. So unless it's proven that somebody else is the father, your name goes on the birth certificate as the father, because the law presumes that a child born to a marriage is the child of the mother and the husband and the wife. So the presumption is you're the father. Okay? If you choose to, or if another man chooses to, they can go to court and request paternity test.
Okay, but what is going to be at the interview because I'm not sure if I want my name on the birth certificate longer.
If it is determined that you are not the father and somebody else is the father, and there's a child born out of wedlock, it would lead certainly an immigration officer to question the validity and bona fides of your marriage. But certainly you can rebut that by telling me exactly just what happened.
Okay, I see. And I see. I know. I mean, it's going to be the mother's name only. This is what we decided. So we're okay now, but I'm just asking how...
the immigration officer is going to think it's a bogus marriage, but you have the right to prove him otherwise.
Well, we have a condo, we have cars, we have lots of things.
Mazel tov. I'm
It
just telling you.
happened.
You're telling me what's going to happen, so I'm giving you the answer. Okay, your wife had a baby with another man while you were married. So the first thing that goes through an immigration officer's mind is you paid this woman to get a green card, and she obviously is in a relationship with some other man, and you're just paying her to get a green card. That's what they're going to believe. Now, it's your job. It's your job to prove them otherwise.
Okay, I see. And how often is these cases?
How often is what cases?
Like this. I know it's not.
I don't know. I don't have statistics on how many people go in with in marriages with children from other men that happen during a marriage, but it's life. It happens.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. How many people? How would I know how many people? 7.
An exact number.
The answer is 7. 7 people. It happened to 7 other people.
Rounded to
All right. I mean, obviously, the wife it's 1 or 2.
Right.
And I don't know myself.
Right.
Okay, it's either 1, it's a business marriage.
Yeah.
Or 2, it's a real marriage. The wife cheated on him, and he's sticking it out with her. I don't know.
Godspeed,
but
man.
that's going to be one. It's either one of those 2, right? Would you agree with that?
I
Yes.
agree with that
Okay.
wholeheartedly. All my immigration knowledge says I agree with that.
Ramona in Queens. Ramona.
Good evening, Uncle Brad
How you
and the
doing?
squad.
How you doing?
I'm
All
fine,
right,
thank
this
you.
is. We don't know who is this.
Ramona Hazel?
This is Ramona.
Hi. What's up?
Thank you. I'm fine. My question, I wrote it earlier, but I didn't explain myself properly. So my question is, I am married to an American citizen, and my son, which is 11 years old, and myself, he petitioned for us last October. So my son got his Social Security card, but I still haven't received mine. But
You got your work permit?
I haven't. No, I
Nothing.
haven't received anything.
And how long has it
but
been?
I got the interview date. It has been scheduled.
Your date has been scheduled, or they said that you're going to be scheduled?
I got the notice. I got the notice in the mail with the date of the interview.
All right, good,
But
great.
I still haven't received.
All right, so you'll
So
get
I'm a bit worried.
you'll get your green card, and you don't need a work permit then.
Okay, that's just what I want to know
Yeah.
because I am worried.
Yeah, well, come see me. I take the worry away.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, hold on. Let's go to Tony in Atlanta. Tony,
Yes, Brad.
how are you?
I'm doing good.
What's going
I
on?
got a situation here. My actually wife is she's my wife right now, but she's been deported for she's been out of the country for 10 years, actually 9, almost 10.
Why?
And I'm sorry,
Why was she deported for almost 9, 10 years?
for possession of narcotics.
Okay.
And my intention is to try to bring her back here.
Okay.
Is it possible?
No, not for possession of narcotics. No, you can never come back.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Eliza in Clive, Louisiana. Clive, Iowa. Excuse me.
Clive, Iowa.
Clive, Iowa. What's going on?
Nice to talk to you. I became a citizen in March of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I am now trying to bring my parents to the United States. And as I'm filling out this paperwork, I see a question that says, have you ever previously filed a petition for this beneficiary or any other alien? Okay,
Right.
I helped my little brother, 15 years old brother, to fill out his B2 visa.
No. That's fine. They're asking if you ever were a petitioner for anybody, and the answer is no.
No, I was not.
Okay, the answer is no.
The next question is, how long after my parents get to the United States can they petition my little brother?
The next day.
Next day?
24 hours later.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Nice show.
Okay. My pleasure. Okay. I thought you was going to ask me the next question on the form is. I thought we were going to go through all the questions on the form.
There was clearly a list in her
Yes,
hand.
yes. All right, let's go to John in Queens. John.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going
All right, so I have a co-sponsor, right?
Yes.
And for 2018, his W-2 is in the 50s, just saying. Or 17 is in the 40s, but for 2016, he was like going to school, so it's not really.
So we got 50s, 40s, and nothing.
Yeah, he has something. It's just a little bit
Okay,
less.
50s, 40s, and a little less. Okay, so what's the question?
Can he still work to be my co-sponsor?
How many people does he have to support?
None.
How many people how many people in your family?
3.
So it'll be a family of 4. Yes, he absolutely can be a co-sponsor.
Okay,
All right.
perfect.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Lulu in Eureka, California. Lulu.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. I applied for VAWA last year, but I haven't received any work permit or anything. Is that something that I should worry about?
Did you file an adjustment with the VAWA?
I have the I-765 and the
I-45?
360.
What about an I-485?
I don't think so.
No, okay, so that's why you didn't get a work permit. Because you only get a work permit on VAWA if you file the I-485 and the I-360 and the I-765 together. You have to file an adjustment too. Otherwise, all you can do is wait for the VAWA to be approved and then they'll give you the work permit. So submit an I-485 as well. They should accept it because you have an I-360 pending.
Okay, but I have another problem.
What?
In 2000, I went and got in to the DMV and got an ID under somebody else's name.
Right.
Do you think that will be a problem?
Yes, if it comes up, absolutely. You committed a fraud. That's a crime.
If no, do I gonna be
It's a crime.
deported? You think?
I don't know. Are you going to be found guilty of something? Are you going to tell the whole world on my Facebook page that you just committed a crime? That sounds silly too. Hold on one second. All right. With that, before I got to stretch here before we get into our schmoozing.
Right.
All right. So can you tell everybody before we get into our schmoozing what they need to do?
Yes, everybody on Facebook, you guys have a lot to do as the Brad Squad because you are a part of the show. You are not only a part of the squad, but you're a part of the crew as well. So we have to get this show out there, and in order to do that is you have to share. Share this video right now. You can share it to your page. You can share it on other people's pages. You can share it in a group, but most importantly, let's share it in an instant message. So you can privately message somebody and it will actually go out further for you guys doing that. And you could also make a group in the instant message as well. And we also would love for you guys to host a watch party. So when you host a watch party, all your friends and followers actually watches with you. And you guys can have your own separate, little box where you can comment with each other. And then you could also come back into the main group and do that as well. So it's like, this is your own, this is your turf, and I like that because it gets the show out a lot more as well. And also interaction. We would love to hear what you guys have to think about everything that we're talking about. So love, like, sad face, smiley face, sad face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, make sure you do that. And also, of course, in the comments, interaction is key. We definitely need to know what you guys have to say about everything that we're talking about. All right, and don't forget to subscribe and like the page. Make sure you push the notifications, all of that. All right, and what are we gonna do on YouTube?
And on YouTube, you guys are gonna hit the share button and you're gonna copy that link to that live video. And what's really great is that link will never change. So you can send that link to all of your friends in WhatsApp. You can send it to all of your friends as a text, as a Facebook message, however you want to do it, but you just let them know that that's where they can see Brad Show live. And of course, make sure that you and all your friends have subscribed and hit that little bell next to the subscribe so that you get notifications and won't miss a single time we go live. And now, the moment that I know everybody has always been waiting for, your favorite wolf blitzer of immigration, Brad Bernstein is here with Schmoozing with Brad.
Schmoozing with Brad?
Schmoozing.
But I'm not Wolf Blitzer of immigration.
You're totally the Wolf Blitzer.
No, I am not the Wolf Blitzer of immigration.
It's your Wolf Blitzer
I am Wolf Blitzer's Wolf Blitzer. Brad Bernstein's Brad Bernstein. Belgium Kim is Belgium Kim.
That's true.
And Yo-Yo's a yo-yo. Not a yo-yo.
Not a yo-yo.
Not a yo-yo.
But Yo-yo.
You are yo-yo.
There you go.
Yonathan, not a yo-yo.
The yo-yo.
Right.
The
The
yo-yo.
yo-yo.
That would have been
Not
better.
great.
Yes.
I apologize.
Yo-yo.
I wasn't meant that. It wasn't meant that way. It was not meant. You know, it's actually very funny. If you remember when we first came up with this, we were saying, I don't want to call you yo-yo because it sounds like you're calling you like a a W because you're not a W. You're a smart, very smart guy.
Right.
But it's kind of like sticks. It's like it's not. But I don't think it's like a W thing anymore.
You don't think about that.
No, I don't think about that anymore. No, he's a very smart dude.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Oh, thank you.
Right, yes. He's learned a lot about immigration, right?
A lot,
right?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot more than I would have ever thought I would have known.
So meanwhile, Donald Trump this weekend is doubling down on closing the U.S.-Mexican border. He wants to seal the border with Mexico. It's the third largest trading partner between the United States and Mexico.
Right.
It would disrupt the supply chains for most U.S. automakers, trigger swift price increases for grocery shoppers, and invite tons of lawsuits against the federal government. It could quite possibly throw us into a recession or a depression. Two of the president's most senior aides nonetheless defended the move on Sunday News. Mike Mulvaney said, he's the chief of staff, said on This Week that it would take something dramatic to persuade the president not to abandon his border closing plans. And Kellyanne Conway insisted on Fox News Sunday that the president's threat certainly isn't a bluff. Now, why all of a sudden do you think, Yonathan and Belgium Kim? I had this discussion with you a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you know my theory.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I don't care. But so we discussed this a little bit. So Belgium Kim knows my theory. I haven't read about this anywhere. Just my own. Like, why would he do this now?
Right.
Why is he threatening now to close the border? Did anything happen this week?
I feel like spring break.
Right, exactly. Like, what happened?
He knows that, man. People are gonna go.
Like, what happened this week that all of a sudden now it's such a disaster going on there that we have to seal the border? Nothing. Nothing has happened this week. Nothing happened last week. Nothing's going to happen the week after. As a matter of fact, pretty peaceful on the border, but for some people coming up from Guatemala who want to apply for asylum and they're not allowing them to do it.
Right.
So what would be the purpose of doing it? And I have to believe it has to do with Mr. Mueller and his investigation. And the reason why I think it has to do with Mr. Mueller and his investigation is this. Mueller came out with a 300-page document saying that he is not going to make a decision on whether or not Donald Trump obstructed justice or not. There is quite clear in the law that you could obstruct justice even though you may not have committed an underlying crime of collusion or making an agreement with Russia. You can still be obstructing justice. As a matter of fact, in many instances, the assistant U.S. attorney, what's his name? Not Rothstein. Rosenstein has prosecuted people in the past for obstructing justice when there was no underlying crime that was being able to be proven. Now, the political appointee by Donald Trump, the most recent political appointee, okay, he fired Comey. He fired his U.S. attorney. Okay, he fired a second FBI agent.
Right.
Everybody who said that he was doing something wrong, he fired.
Right.
And he put somebody in who would agree with him, Barr, who says a president can't obstruct justice. He wrote papers on this.
Right.
So Barr reads the 300-page Mueller investigation, and he concludes there was no obstruction. The Democrats say, well, we want to see the full report, which they're not showing them yet.
Right.
Now, ultimately, this is a political crime. It is a crime, too. Could be a criminal crime, but it is ultimately a political crime.
Yeah.
Meaning, did he obstruct justice? Did he do something? Bill Clinton was impeached for something less, for just lying and saying he didn't have sex with this woman when he did.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, for that one sentence.
Right.
In a deposition.
Right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's ultimately, this report's going to ultimately come out, and it's going to go to the House of Representatives. The Democrats know that to really get Trump out, he's got to lose his support. He's got to lose his political base.
Right.
Okay? And he would lose his political base because Trump knows that this report's really, really bad for him. It's really, 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 really bad.
Right.
He did some really, 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 really bad things.
Right.
So he has to say in his head, I need the people. Remember in 2016 he said, I could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I'll still get support.
Right.
Okay? He
Right.
needs those people.
Yeah.
That when he goes out on the street and literally shoots somebody, which is what this report's going to show politically, to still support him.
Right.
Because if they still support him, none of the Republicans are going to go up against Trump.
Right.
And he won't be impeached. But if he loses his base, then he will be impeached, he will go to jail and everything else.
Right.
He needs to stay in office.
Yeah.
So the one thing that got him going from day one was the first words out of his mouth: close the border, build a wall. All the people from south of the border are rapists and murderers. So he is appealing to his vilest base of people who say, build a wall, the Mexicans are rapists, the Guatemalans are murderers, to keep his base, because he knows when this report comes out, it's going to be really, really bad.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I think it's happening, because there's no other reason to now all of a sudden, isn't it coincidental? Like 5 days after the Mueller report is going, the Mueller report's going to be released in about 14 days,
Right.
15 days.
Right.
Why now all of a sudden, we're going to close the border?
Right.
Why?
I think you're absolutely right.
And in addition to this, Trump is deploying people to the U.S.-Mexican border right now. He's putting 750 officers to process a surge of migrant families entering the United States, but he's also closing off the El Paso bridge. Now, I've never been to El Paso. I'm not sure what this looks like, but in the pictures, it looks really, really bad. U.S. immigration officials say they're closing a holding area under a bridge connecting El Paso to Juarez, Mexico. That is a short distance from where a senior official declared is a crisis at the border. In a statement Sunday, Customs and Border Protection say that migrants being held under the Paso del Norte International Bridge will be relocated to a place with more space and shelter. But all of this is caused by Donald Trump and his own policies, because he's refusing to process people for asylum, which is what he has to do under the Hague Convention, under treaties that we signed with 80, 90, 100 other countries. He's preventing people from applying for asylum, which is why there's this whole buildup at the border in the first place.
Right.
Which is why there is a humanitarian crisis.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, the Democrats are authorizing subpoenas for the full Mueller report. They don't want even Barr's, they don't even want, the U.S. Attorney Barr's redacted portions of it.
Right.
The House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler said they're going to authorize a subpoena this week to obtain the full unredacted reports from Special Counsel Robert Mueller, teeing up, which is basically going to tee up a showdown between the Democrats and the Trump administration. It's going to end up going to court. Right. Nadler said Monday that he has scheduled a markup on Wednesday, which is basically going to be a vote, a pre-vote, to authorize a subpoena for the Mueller report. It would give the Democrats the green light to subpoena the report. The House Judiciary Committee would also vote to subpoena former White House staff members, Don McGahn, who was the previous White House attorney, Steve Bannon, who we know is what's the crypt keeper? What's his name? The crypt keeper?
The former Steve Bannon?
Steve Bannon. Well, he's what's the Grim Reaper? I'm calling
the Grim Reaper.
Right. I'm calling him the Crypt Keeper. Steve Bannon. Hope Hicks, who was just a young woman that Donald Trump was I think attracted to and gave her a job.
Right.
Rice Priebus, who used to be the Republican chairman of the Republican National Committee that got Trump elected. Then Trump made him his right-hand man, and then fired him.
Right.
And Ann Donaldson, I'm not sure who Ann Donaldson is, but she's also going to be subpoenaed.
Wow.
He said now, Barr said that he's going to redact 4 types of materials: grand jury material, sensitive intelligence material, information from ongoing investigations, and information that would unduly infringe on the personal privacy of the president and third parties. In a op-ed on Monday's New York Times, Nadler, which I read, by the way,
Right.
he said, how can you redact something when the president is an unindicted co-conspirator in the Southern District of New York on the case for the Michael Cohen, because Trump is the unindicted co-conspirator person of interest number one, who gave Cohen the $120,000 in repayment for the Stormy Daniels, but we're not allowed to see anything about that in the report.
Right.
So Nadler writes in a published op-ed in Monday's New York Times, we have an obligation to read the full report, and the Department of Justice has an obligation to provide it in its entirety without delay. If the department is unwilling to produce the full report voluntarily, then we will do everything in our power to secure it for ourselves. We require the report first because Congress, not the Attorney General, has a duty under the Constitution to determine whether wrongdoing has occurred. The special counsel declined to make a traditional prosecutorial judgment on the question of obstruction, but it is not the Attorney General's job to step in and substitute his judgment for the special counsel's. Yeah, so basically, the U.S. Attorney, the special counsel Mueller, laid out all the facts and said, it's not my job to determine whether there's obstruction of justice or not. I'm not going to make a determination.
Right.
He laid out all the facts on collusion of Russia. He says there's no facts that say it. But whether or not to indict Trump on obstruction of justice, he's going to lay out the facts, and then you guys make a decision.
Right.
And then Barr read it, and we already knew he was predetermined to say no obstruction before he even read the report. And there he is right there, with his dumb little hand out, okay, and holding his glasses on,
right?
Because I think somebody's about to punch him, and then his thumb up because he knew this was a week before. He was giving his thumbs up to Trump. Don't worry, thumbs up. I got you. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, sad news: rapper Nipsey Hussle, was fatally shot today. Last night, yesterday.
Yeah.
He was 33 years old, Grammy-nominated rapper. He was born Amias, if I pronounce it right. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, and disrespect his memory, but let me make sure I get it right. Armaishgadam. Did I get it close?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. He was shot multiple times outside his Marathon clothing store in Los Angeles. One suspect fled. He has been a fixture in the LA area, and since his mixtape went I guess got viral, hot, whatever words you want to use.
Right.
Bullets ain't got no name, and that's pretty what happened, unfortunately, here.
Yeah, it's a really devastating time in not only the hip hop world, but he's Eritrean, so this is kind of close to me and my family because him and my cousin actually grew up together back in Eritrea. Then they came to the States together. He's the one who basically had her move to LA from Seattle. Yeah. So the thing is, he was a man that was trying to make a change in the community. And even today, he was supposed to have a meeting with Rock Nation and the LAPD to work on ending gun violence, gang violence.
By all accounts, he was a good guy.
He was an amazing.
By all accounts, he was. I mean, I don't know him
smart,
personally, just from what I read about him. He was a very good guy.
He invested in his community. Like he easily could have had that store. He bought that whole block. First of all, he bought that whole complex, and he could have easily had his store in Hollywood or Beverly Hills because he had that money, but he put it in his community to help rebuild it. So it's very, very unfortunate.
Now, Nipsey's father, by the way, his name was a play on Nipsey Russell, the comedian.
Right, I didn't even know that.
In the 1960s. He used to be on, was Nipsey Russell on The Dating Game or The Gong Show, or one of those from the 1960s and 70s. But a very famous comedian. But Nipsey's father, Dawit was an immigrant to America from Eritrea, just like you said, and Nipsey was very proud of his African heritage. A lot of celebrities have tweeted their condolences. HBO's Insecure writer, creator, and star Issa Rae.
Yes.
She tweeted, "Watching Nipsey inspired me to invest and own in our communities. He was a solid man who loved his woman, his family, and his community, and this hurts." Drake said, "My whole energy is just as low right now hearing this. You were a real one to your people and to the rest of us. I'm only doing this here because I want the world to know I saw you as a man of respect and a Don. Rest easy, my G. Rihanna also mourned the rapper's death. She wrote, this doesn't make any sense. My spirit is shaken by this. John Legend wrote, rest in peace, Nipsey. I just spent Thursday with him filming a video for a beautiful new song we created with Khalid. We filmed in Englewood, close to where he grew up. He was so gifted, so proud of his home, so invested in his community, utterly stunned that he's gone so soon. Ava DuVernay wrote, I'll remember him this way, bright, genuine, forward-thinking. I'll remember the beauty that he saw in our community and the beauty that he was. He loved us. He left that love with us, and it cannot die. Rest in power, King, you mattered. Pharrell wrote, you were about something positive and for your community and every chance you had to speak. And because of that, you inspired millions who will uphold your legacy forever. Rest amongst the stars. And finally, Diddy wrote, Nipsey represents change. He represents evolution. He represents everything our culture needs to embrace. Black ownership, black love, black wealth. God bless you and your family. King, at Law in London, whatever you need, we are here for you. My family is your family. Just, you know what? I just find we're doing this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, I feel like this, you know, you hate to, make it, I don't want to make any joke about this, but, it's like Groundhog's Day, like every week.
Yeah.
It's like, we're rest in peace. Somebody got killed. Somebody, it's just too much.
And the fact that he, so this is the whole thing. So now some people are also calling it a conspiracy because he was actually doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi. And you remember he was the healer, the natural herbal healer that said that he had the cure to AIDS and the cure to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So he was doing a documentary on that. And basically a lot of people that have anything to do with Dr. Sebi, including himself, have passed away. So he even said in an interview, he said, hey, if they take me out for doing this interview, y'all better ride with me. So this interview, this documentary is coming.
Why would he have done it if he knew his life was in danger?
Because that's exactly what him being on this earth was to help the community, to help the people. He had so many different programs that taught young minorities how to invest in money.
Who is Dr.? I don't know who Dr. Sebi is. Can you fill me in a little bit?
I think he's Haitian. I think he's Haitian, but he is a herbal doctor that a lot of celebrities had went to, and he's had a lot of different trials. I think this documentary was supposed to be on the trial in 1985, where he was taken to court, I think twice, and he
lives in America, Dr. Sebi?
He died. He died of pneumonia, I think, a couple years ago, and they feel like he was killed as well because of the whole pharmaceutical, and the government.
So
and all that.
Who's taking him out? Just the man behind Dr.
Basically,
Sebi?
they say government or pharmaceutical, because it's $1 billion, industry. So you're finding cures to these things. It could be conspiracy, it could not be, but that was one of the main things that a lot of people are thinking. So even Nick Cannon said that he will continue that documentary. He's going to make sure that that documentary is finished.
Okay, good. Levandi Tucker says he's a martyr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess maybe some people believe that.
No, a lot of people.
People believe that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's have some fun.
Yes.
Okay.
End us on a happy note.
No, well, we have a whole show to do.
We have a whole show to do.
A whole show.
Yeah. So
start us off on a happy note.
An Australian man is appealing a judge's ruling that said he was not being bullied when his boss farted on him.
I'm sorry. What was that?
His boss farted on him, Kim. News Corp Australia says David. No, I don't fart on you, Kim.
No,
I've never done that, Kim. You can accuse me of a lot of things, Kim. There are lots of things you can accuse me of.
Farting
on you is not one of them.
That's true, Brad.
Yes. True. All right. News Corp Australia says David Hicks wanted $1.8 million in damages because he said his ex-supervisor would lift his bum and fart. Now, Hinks said manager Greg Short would come into their room several times a day and just let it loose.
Oh my God.
I can't.
He told the court the flatulence was a form of bullying.
It just makes no sense.
And then his ex-colleague Greg Short was a serial farter, and that he was caused to have severe stress from all this farting. He said, I'd be sitting with my face to the wall, and he would come into the room, which was small and had no windows. Oh, come on. No windows in the room?
And he's still going in, and I mean, that
And he would
getting
fart
closer to
behind me
bullying.
and then walk away, and he would do it 5 or 6 times a day. I had that happen to me on a plane.
Like what?
Yeah, that happened to me. When I went to St. Lucia a couple weeks ago. There was a serial farter on my plane too.
Really?
Yes, I don't know who it was, but every so often I'd be like, "This wasn't me," and I'm like ready to and like it'll happen like 6, 7 times on the plane.
But here's the thing, if you're in a plane, you can't go anywhere. If someone is actively coming into your office to crop dust you 5 to 6 times a day, that's intentional.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was
disrespectful.
I don't know. I don't know. I was on JetBlue and I was in row 7, and maybe somebody was coming back from like row 28 and 29, coming up to the front and letting it loose and going back. I don't know what they're doing.
Disgusting.
Maybe this Greg Short was on my plane for all I know.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, the case was thrown out.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
It's not workplace bullying, so you can fart to your heart's desire around your coworkers.
That's foul.
Yeah,
I would have hoped that he got some kind of compensation
That is
for
very, very vile. And with that, welcome, Kim.
Thanks, Brad.
How was your day? How was your day so far?
Oh, it's a good start to my day.
Yeah.
Love that we're starting the show at 7:40 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, and Yonathan?
I'm
Everything
great.
good? You're looking forward to your
my Puerto Rico
your Puerto
trip.
Rico trip?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come back with a tan.
You know what we got to do though before we start the show? We gotta say hello to the squad.
Yes.
Right. Christy Consali, how are you? Tamika Nelson, Marge Higgs, Deborah Sal, Deion Watson says, hey Brad. Anna Karam Resolve says, hey Brad, squad. Jessica Halimi Joeli says, squad up, loves. Deborah Sal says, hey Tamika. And Lisa Bling Rose finally coming in saying, hello family, Kimmy Kim, yo squad up. It's okay, Lisa Bling, you don't have to say hello to me. Princess Tenko says, up Brad squad, what's going on? And let's see, who else we got here? Willie Williams saying, Brad looks like Dr. Evil.
Is it like this or is it like this? I thought
I
it
don't
was
know,
like
but
this.
they gotta get the
Isn't that like this?
Yeah. I will hold you hostage. No, it's not hostage. I will hold the world hostage for $1 million. Wah! I don't think I'm done.
Do I make you randy?
That always kills me.
Carol Anderson the Tiger, hello. And Anna K. Moxon says, squad up. Cece Mitchell, squad up peeps, excuse me. And who else we have here? Jasmine McDonald. Haven't seen Jasmine in a while, have we?
No, we haven't.
No, where's Jasmine been? Huh?
Jasmine, where you been?
Yeah, where you been, Jasmine? I just lost my place here. Jasmine, Levante Tucker, and Marge Higgs saying hello. And who else we got here? I have to go. I just lost my place here. Wendy Brown. And Dawn Harriet saying hello. And who else we have here? Marge Higgs says, good evening. I got kicked. Why did Marge Higgs get kicked? Kicked by who?
Kicked by who? Who's kicking
you? Levante Tucker saying, it's madness! Madness! I don't know what madness is.
It is madness.
It's madness. Cordella Douglas says, squad up, family. And I don't know why Tamika thinks you look confused, Yo-Yo.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I'm a survivor. Says, now that I'm on spring break, you have my undivided attention. All right. Wendy Brown says, hi, Amma. And Abigail Taylor Watson saying, Yonathan almost born on April Fool's Day. Can't imagine his mama going into labor on the 1st and thinking it's a trick. LOL.
You know what's funny? A quick story. My mom, so April 1st at night, my mom was watching the news and she found out that Marvin Gaye got killed. And right when she found out, she went into labor. And then she had me that morning, the next morning, which is April 2nd, and it's on Marvin Gaye's birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
God.
Right. And that's not April Fools.
That means that you're Marvin Gaye resurrected, is what that.
Low key, right?
And you're very talented like him.
I cannot sing.
Maybe better looking too. Maybe even better looking.
He was definitely a sex symbol.
Yeah, but you're better looking. I mean, you're on your way, Yo-Yo. You're on your way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. First Lady Hewitt says, I'm here. And we have anybody? Wet Sugar Dada popping in. And that's everybody. And let's see who we got on YouTube here. On YouTube, Back It Up Ricky saying good evening, everybody. Sean Boone Jr. says, Happy April Fool's Day. Thank you very much, Sean. Shanique Myers, Happy Monday, Brad Squad family. Bevan Smith saying hello. Ja Love. Hello. Ja Love is always there. Yulette Wilson always popping in on. That's right. Yulette Wilson always. It is April Fool's Day. Princess Black, how are you? Shanique Myers. Ken Kibbett says, hey, bye.
Hey, bye.
Hey, bye.
Hey, bye.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means.
He
Donald
knows
Horton
it's real.
says, hey, Kim, yo, Brad. I'm still at work, but I am here. And Parmanand Permasaur coming in with a question, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Welcome, everybody. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day. It is Brad Show Live.
Groundhog Sam! Do, 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 do. What is this? Dark Woe is Vile? What? This doesn't make any sense. Who did this? Somebody changed the name of the show to Dark Woe is Vile? Is this some kind of creepy pig Latin thing? Someone made a horrible creative decision here, and no one discussed it with Groundhog Sam. I would have told them this is terrible. It's not catchy. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Groundhog Sam, how you doing?
Kim.
What's wrong?
Emergency situation. Somebody changed the name of the show to Darb Woe is Vile. It's terrible, I tell you. Who would do such a thing? Darb Woe is Vile? What does that mean?
Sam, those aren't words. What are you talking about?
Look, right there on the door, on the window, Darb Woe is Vile. Look, it's just vile, to be honest.
Sam, it doesn't say Darb Woe is Vile. It says Brad Show Live. You're looking at it from the wrong side.
Oh, it's backwards. Just like the whole show today. Oh, I get it. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, it's April Fool's and the joke's on good old Groundhog Sam, isn't it?
We would never change the show without you. You already know that, Groundhog Sam.
I mean, my goodness, I thought somebody just made a terrible, terrible creative decision and I didn't know who to talk to. And I was like, this is just a mess now. No one's going to like this. We're going to have to rebrand the whole show and I have extra t-shirts I won't be able to give out anymore. It would have been crazy bad. Bad.
We folded all those shirts together, Sam. We're not going to throw away 100 shirts that say I twerk all day with your face on them. What a waste.
I know.
Here, I'll show you what it actually looks like outside.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, come on. You see, Groundhog Sam? Now we've got the logo facing in the waiting room so that everybody knows what we're doing in there.
This is magnificent. Magnificent, I tell you. And it's Brad Show Live. Of course, silly me.
Next time you're going to hang these up, though.
Oh, sure, I'll help you. Maybe we could do it together in the control room.
Ooh, good call. We'll do that together next time.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Kim. I was so distraught.
Oh, don't worry. We would never make any creative decisions without you.
I would hope not, Kim. I'm an integral part of this team.
Of course you are. Speaking of which, you still have a recap to do.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, see you soon.
See ya.
Bye. Well, good thing Kim clarified that whole situation for me. I was really upset that they changed the name of the show. It'd be ridiculous to do that. But anyway, it's over. Crisis averted. Did you guys miss Friday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Brad and Yonathan went head to head in another edition of Real or Fake News, the game that Brad usually does not win. However, he broke his losing streak on Friday. Yay, Brad! He won Real or Fake News. And now it's the time that you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad Bernstein with co-hosts Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Woohoo! Happy April Fool's Day, Brad Squad! Enjoy!
What is your American dream?
American dream is become an entrepreneur here in US. I'm bringing again some genuinity and authenticity of the Italian culture here in US.
My American dream is to serve the public. I'm running for judge and then want to continue serving on the bench and perhaps one day become a United States Senator. But I always want to give back to the community and the people that supported me along the way. My parents, and I want to make them proud.
My American dream is to make sure that our Constitution is not compromised by, the political people that are in power now, and it bothers me very much so because I am not a lawyer, but I love the law.
My American dream is just live comfortably, really. Not to be too rich, not to be too poor. Just wake up every morning and enjoy life. That's really it.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.